Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We are Shane and Annie, and today's video is a little bit different. We are not fixing Fergus.
We're not traveling. We are going to be sitting down and answering the questions that you guys have asked us, and we're going to be answering the most asked question that we get probably every single week, which is,
how did an Irish boy and a Spanish girl end up meeting up and traveling in a 41-year-old van around Europe? So grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, or whatever you want, and let's get cozy and dive into all these questions.
So the first question is, what did we study and what did we work as before we quit our jobs to travel around in Fergus?
We are both engineers. Shane is an electrical engineer. And I am an electronics, industrial automation and computer scientist. I don't know, big long name. But we actually worked together before we quit our jobs and travelled in this little van.
But that is not how we met. We knew each other way long time before that.
But that's
another story. So that is not actually how we met. But yeah, the two of us are both engineers, worked in the same company, and we worked there for just over 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we decided we quit our jobs and become YouTubers. And now we do photographs, videos on the side for different clients, different businesses.
Question number 2, and this is actually a very commonly asked question, is Shane a mechanic, or does he have any sort of mechanic background?
So the answer is obviously no, I'm not a mechanic. I'm an electrical engineer, but I have been working around cars, and I have several old Volkswagen Beetles and just different cars that I have been working on since I was around 12 years of age. So I know my way around the car and the basics, what you need to know to fix a car in any situation. And as you've seen, we have broke down so many times, and
we would be lost to be here.
And the little bit of knowledge that I have towards engines, I was fit to get Fergus back on the road and continue the journey. But to answer the question, no, I am not a mechanic. Sometimes I wish I did go on to do an apprenticeship as a mechanic, but no, I'm not a mechanic or have any mechanical background. It's all learned from my uncle and from YouTube.
Shout out to Uncle Raymond.
Question number 3 is, have we came across any other T25s for sale while travelling around Europe? And this person says that they seem to be good value over in Spain.
Well, we've only seen one in north of Spain, and he was like 24,000, wasn't it?
It was a proper 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧, and it was 24,000.
Yeah.
Now we have came across loads of T25s throughout our travels. Some of them have been for sale, but like some of them are in terrible condition, and they're like 8,000 or 9,000.
Yeah.
They're very, very expensive over in Spain. But the good thing about being in Spain, it is dry and there is not a lot of rust on them compared to the Irish vans. But if you are thinking of buying a van in Spain, they are quite expensive. If you're looking for a van, I probably wouldn't go to Spain. It's quite expensive. Look for one in Ireland.
Yeah. Question number 4 says, do we still have the same enthusiasm to travel in Fergus with all the highs and lows?
Well, we've had a lot of highs, but we've also had a lot of lows. But I don't think that takes away from the character that Fergus is. I would say I still have the same enthusiasm for traveling in Fergus.
Me too. I think the longer we travel, the comfier, like the more, we know our way around the van better. I have to say that between trips, I have been like really scared to like start the next one. Before starting our last one around Costa Brava and the Pyrenees, it took me like a week to
build up the courage.
Yeah, because that's like, it was right after we had to sleep in the Portuguese garage, and right after we had to get a tow truck to get us out of a river.
We weren't in the river.
No. We slept by a river. And what has happened? That trip...
The brakes,
yeah, we got scammed and then we had to go to another garage. So like, we had like 3 or 4 breakdowns, and then the starter motor. I don't know, this summer has been crazy. We're gonna leave all the videos linked up here. They're gonna be popping up so you can check them out, because they are like crazy.
We had a lot of breakdowns, but as I said, that doesn't take away from what Fergus is. And
I love it. I wouldn't trade it.
As Annie says, like, she is nervous before we go on the adventure, but 5 minutes into it, it's like, oh, we're back to normal, and
it's just getting into the van and leaving. I struggle with that sometimes after having a lot of breakdowns, but once we're on the road, I love it, and like
I wouldn't change it.
No. I also think that the more breakdowns we go through, the less things are likely to break because we're putting new parts in. So, you know, I think I trust the van more now than when we went to Spain 2 years ago almost.
I feel like the more you drive it, the more reliable it's getting.
Yeah.
But if we keep changing new parts after new parts after new parts, we'll eventually have a new van. So maybe in about 20 years' time, this will be Fergus 2.0 and we'll not have any of these parts.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, yes, we still have the same enthusiasm, and if not more.
Yeah.
The fifth question that we got asked is, have we met any other cool T25s while on our travels?
We have met one in Ireland, outside Letterkenny. We met Paul in his white T25.
And he's a subscriber.
Hi, Paul.
He recognised the van as he was driving by.
Yeah. We thought, so like when you have a T25 and you meet on our T25, you beep.
And we have a flash.
Wait, yeah. So we just thought it was a T25 that saw another T25, but then it turned out it was a subscriber that recognised the van.
And that was here in Ireland, so he turned around, came back, and he recognised Fergus and came out and was like, oh, she and Anna. Was like, but then that was our first ever subscriber encounter, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we met Brian and his wife Natasha
in the Pyrenees.
In the Pyrenees, and they're also from Ireland, and they're subscribers, and they have yellow and cream, white.
Yeah.
They have a lovely T25, and we parked up beside them. We met them for a day or two in the Pyrenees, and that was absolutely amazing because you don't really get to meet too many T25s
too many Irish either.
Or too many Irish that you can park up beside and have the crack with. So that is two of them, and then this year we met another one, which is also subscribers from the UK, and we met them over in France, and we parked up beside them and slept beside them for a night or two. We actually met them twice.
Yeah, we met Sean and Fiona in the Pyrenees as well. So I think they are the 3 T25s that we have met.
We have met so many cool T25s on our travels, and it's even better when we meet them and they are subscribers of the channel. So if you guys are watching, thanks so much for subscribing. So as we've already seen so many cool T25s on the road that are subscribers, shout out to Richard because he has a cool Volkswagen Beetle that he noticed us when we were in Donegal, and he's a subscriber of the channel, so shout out to Richard as well.
Question number 6. Just wondering if you're thinking of a larger van. I don't know how you cope with Fergus in such a tight space. Sorry, Fergus.
No, we are not thinking of a bigger van whatsoever. Fergus is the perfect size for us. Now, it would be nice to have that little bit more space, but I think Fergus comes across on YouTube as a very small van, but rather it's like quite spacious, and you have so much room around here. It's more than enough for the two of us. The bed is big enough for... I think you could sleep 3 people on this bed if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could push it.
At a push, you could sleep 3 people on this bed. The roof pops up so you can stand up.
We are planning on changing the roof.
We have a roof.
We got a roof the other day.
For €50.
So let's see if we can recondition it.
Yeah, let's see can we fix it, and that will give us even more room, more storage and everything. Like, we've had 5 people sitting inside Fergus, and we have been in bigger vans that feel more cramped because there's so much going on, where we have the basics in here, more than enough, and there's still loads and loads of room, and somehow we don't get sick of each other. And we're living in such a small space 24/7. So number 7 is, would we ever consider travelling to the Balkans?
I would love to travel to the Balkans. We have never travelled like as far with our van. I think that now we would be confident to go. We've done France, Portugal and Spain.
A lot of Spain.
A lot of Spain, yeah. So, and we broke down a lot as well, but I think that like at the start going around Spain felt like such a big trip.
Huge.
But now that we've done that and we've got through it all right, with all those breakdowns that now are not going to happen because we have a new parts in.
Well, I don't know about that.
I would love to travel to the Balkans because I've seen people there with their vans and it just looks amazing.
I know. I think
the water and all.
I think
oh my God.
If Fergus will do it, I think travelling to the Balkans would be an absolute epic road trip.
It would take a long time though to get there, like a month maybe.
You can do it, Fergus. But no, I definitely think that is something on the cards, and we would love to go to the Balkans. But if you have any other suggestions of where we should take Fergus in Europe or wherever you think we should, leave a comment down below, and we are planning our destinations for 2024 because we want to get on the road as soon as possible and visit more cool and epic places.
Question number 8. Why did you choose a T25?
Well, it was kind of a spur of the moment. As a child, when I was 12, I bought my first ever Volkswagen, which was Beetle, 1977 Beetle, and since then I have just loved the old Volkswagens, and I've always wanted a Volkswagen van, but the price of them are just crazy, and I wanted a T2, but the price of them were just going up and up and up. So one day I was like, I want a van, it has to be Volkswagen, and the next best thing to a T2 is a T3, so that is why we went for Fergus. It's just because my love of Volkswagens has always been there, and I didn't want to do a road trip anywhere around the world if it wasn't in a Volkswagen. I actually have a picture, I'll pop it up on the screen, from when we were in Lisbon.
Yes, in
2017.
Yeah.
In 2017, I have a picture of myself outside a T2 van that was parked in Lisbon, and the caption read something like, "Someday I'll own a van and travel around the world." And 3 years later, we bought Fergus, and now that has been our home on wheels as we've done 20,000 kilometers.
And we've been to Lisbon.
And we drove through Lisbon in Fergus, which is absolutely crazy because Lisbon is mental.
Yeah, so Shane has a blue Beetle and a white Beetle.
That was Herbie.
Yeah, so.
And now Fergandino. Question number 9 is, how did we get the idea of doing van life?
Okay, so some people might think that there's like a lot behind this. There's actually not. We were watching YouTube. We were watching Chits into the Sunset, King in It, Travel Beans,
Combi Life.
Yeah, and one night we were just watching YouTube in bed, and Shane was like, "Let's get a van." That was during lockdown. And literally 2 weeks after, we had Fergus. He was looking and looking.
So
and
how it went is, that night I said to Annie, let's buy a van and travel around Europe. The next morning I went on Dundee and I saw a van in Mayo, and I was like, let's go and look at it. But it was like 9,000.
Yeah, and it was like hard to get to it because you couldn't go because of the restriction.
So then I put a post up on Facebook, and I just said we're looking for a T25, and then one guy reached out to me saying that he had this van right here in a shed, and this was during lockdown, so we managed to get from our home up to Dublin to go and check out the van. Never drove it, never did anything, we just seen it in the shed. He started, we looked around it, we're like, okay, we'll buy it.
We took a chance there.
We took a chance. We never even went in a van before.
No. Like, he was like, let's travel in a van. And I was like, okay.
when I was younger, we went on caravan holidays, but never have I ever been in a camper van or been in a van of any shape, size, or whatever.
I didn't even have that. I had never gone in a camp. All I had been was camping.
So,
and that was it.
By watching our favourite YouTubers, that is how we got the idea of starting van life.
Yeah, we had never tried it before, which is crazy because people usually tell you rent a van first, see if it's for yourself, and then get a van. We kind of did it the other way around. We got a van and then we
went for it.
Yeah.
So that is how we got into van life.
It's not very glamorous. Question number 10 says, will there be an engine upgrade?
So, as everybody that follows the channel knows, we are seriously underpowered when it comes to our engine, and it just does not like hills whatsoever. We have the slowest engine that you can possibly get in one of these vans, the 1.6 diesel. There's no turbo, there's no nothing. This here is literally just a brick with a tiny engine. So we would only love to do an engine swap, but I don't know what the best engine would be. There's so many different possibilities that you can go for, like the Subaru swap, or you can go, like a friend of ours has a Seat Toledo engine put into his, which is like 170 brake horsepower. It's basically like a modern day car. But we are on the lookout for an engine, and just depending on what will we get and the cost of everything, we just have to see, is that feasible right now. But if we do come across one, we will definitely be getting an engine to put into Fergus just to give that little bit more power. Although the 1.6 is so slow, so underpowered, it will literally run on the smell of diesel. It is so economical.
Other people spend so much money on
diesel,
fuel, but that's like our
least. Sometimes we forget to fill up because
I keep telling Shane, should we put diesel in? We haven't put diesel in a week, and he's like, no, still half full.
Still half full.
Okay.
It is so easy on diesel.
Yeah.
I think like if we do over 400, 500 kilometers, it'll cost about €40. So it's very cheap. So I think in the future we'll definitely be doing an engine upgrade. We just have to find one. Question number 11 is, will you be doing any winter tours?
Yes, we are. We are back in Ireland after having Fergus out in Spain for the last 1.5 years. So
feels weird.
Feels really weird, actually. We're going to be traveling around Ireland. We would love to do Scotland and England as well, now that we are here, because we have explored very little of Ireland. Because when we were in Ireland with Fergus, we were working, so we only had the weekends. So we've done like the radius around our house, but we haven't covered like the really nice part of Ireland, which is the
It nearly
southwest.
takes 2 weeks. It nearly takes a full weekend to get to the nice parts of Ireland.
Exactly.
In Fergus.
Yeah.
So we haven't done much of Ireland.
No, so this winter we are going to be exploring Ireland, hopefully Scotland and England, well maybe the start of next year. So yeah, stay tuned because the travelling is not over and we are going to be exploring here until we go back to Spain.
So here is the question that everybody has been asking. Some people have different theories on how we met.
Yeah, a lot of people have guessed, but nobody has got it because it's such a crazy story.
We have been together for
9
years. We've met 10 years ago. So we know each other a long time. So people that think I bought the van and then Annie fell in love with the van, that's not the case. No. She fell for yours truly.
The way it happened is that when I was...
Okay. Just sit back, relax and enjoy, and if you work for Netflix, please don't steal our story.
So the way it was is I was in Spain and one evening I just went to my dad and I was like, let's go abroad to study. So then I was placed with 3 options: America, United Kingdom and Ireland. But I couldn't go to United Kingdom, and if I went to America I couldn't go back for Christmas, so I was only 15, so I didn't want to go for a whole year. So I was left with Ireland. I didn't even choose it, it was there. And then one day I got a letter with an address and I was like, where is this?
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, and I thought it was going to be Dublin or something, but no, it was in the middle of nowhere. And then I was randomly placed in a family that was like 2 miles.
So
literally
2 miles from my house is where the family that Annie was staying with.
Yeah. And then I was placed in the same school as Shane, and not only that, I was placed in the same class, and not only that, the teacher sat me beside him on the first day of school.
In English.
So we were only in that class for a month, and then we had to switch
between higher and ordinary, so we were different teachers, so we had to move class.
Yeah, so then we moved to another class and to another teacher, and then she was sitting everybody down, and without talking to the other teacher, she sat us together again, and the whole class started laughing, and she was like, what am I missing? So yeah, 2 different teachers sat us beside each other. And we were neighbours, and that's how I ended up in Ireland, and that's how I ended up meeting Shane.
But that was only in 5th year of high school.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, then I stayed on.
And he was only supposed to be here for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then she stayed for another year.
Yeah, to the Leaving Cert in Ireland.
And then that is when we started going out, and that was 9 years ago.
So I went back to Spain after Leaving Cert, after being in Ireland for 2 years. And I was doing college, so we were both studying engineering, and so that was 5 years.
While Annie was in Spain, I was in Ireland.
Yeah. So Shane was flying over to me every month.
Michael O'Leary, you can thank me later. I kept you in business for 5 years.
But no joke, there was more flights. When we started, there was no direct flights during the winter, so he had to fly through Frankfurt, through Paris, Amsterdam.
So I had to fly from Dublin to Germany to Spain, and then vice versa on the way back. Sometimes 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, but we made it happen, and we were long distance for 5 years. And then that is when Annie moved back over to Ireland. We have a little place here. We went and we got our jobs, and
a couple of months later we were Fergus.
Yeah. That's basically it.
Here we are now.
So if anybody wants to make a Netflix series on us, hit us up in the comments.
So I'm sure nobody would have guessed how we met. So write a comment down in the video telling us how you thought we actually met, because a lot of people thought I met him with the van.
Through Fergus.
But no, it was long before that.
And like, for everything to align, like from going to Ireland to getting randomly placed beside me, to going to the same school, sitting beside me
Same
twice,
class, yeah.
everything.
What were the odds? Like, we think about it sometimes and it's like,
now you know the story of how Shane and Annie Van Life met each other 10
how
years
Shane
ago.
won the lotto, huh?
It's a life sentence. People have got less for motor.
Alright.
There you have it, guys. There is all our questions, and if you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments below.
And we'll do a part 2 because I love these videos.
We'll do a part 2 because it's a nice change from fixing the van and doing a little bit of travelling. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down below and we'll do a part 2 to this video.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new, please, because your support means the world to us.
We're nearly at 4,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Didn't think we'd get this far. When we first bought Fergus, we only had
a couple of hundred.
Check out our other videos and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Just as we were finishing up, getting ready to the van, Annie pulls out a hot water bottle.
Did you know that?
So the whole time I was sitting here freezing, I had nothing to warm me up. Annie had a hot water bottle to herself.
This is the one I bought in the Pyrenees.
In a changing
Like the
shop.
video, you remember me buying this in Spain.
I'll take it off you now for a minute because I am absolutely frozen.
It's not that warm anymore, and this is not that warm either.